All right, let's just dive right in because we are about to crack open one of the biggest secrets hidden in plain sight. We read these ancient stories and we think we know them, but what if they're not just stories? What if they're actually a kind of spiritual code, a blueprint for how our own consciousness works? Today we're looking at maybe the most mysterious 2 years in the entire Torah. The 2 full years Joseph was just forgotten, rotting in a dungeon, right before everything was about to change.
I want you to really picture this scene. We're in Pharaoh's royal chambers. The air is heavy, thick with incense, and everything is bathed in this dim, flickering gold light from the oil lamps. This is the most powerful man on the planet, but he's not resting easy. He's caught in that terrible kind of sleep where dream images just keep looping. Fat cows, skinny cows, lush, healthy grain, and then suddenly withered stalks. The images are crystal clear, but the meaning? It's just out of reach. It's like a message from the universe itself is pounding on the door of his mind, but he can't find the key. A memory is lost. And it's not just his memory. It's a memory the entire cosmos has forgotten. And the text gives us the key right here. And it came to pass at the end of Shnatayim Yomim, 2 full years. Now, that doesn't just mean 730 days went by. No way. This phrase, according to the mystics, is the whole secret. Those 2 years aren't about measuring time on a calendar. They are a code word for a massive spiritual process. It's the journey from being completely cut off, totally in the dark, to the ultimate state of revelation. It is the incubation period for reality itself to get a total system reboot. So to really get this, we're going to need a roadmap. We'll start with the dream itself, what's happening in the dark. Then we're going to decode those 2 years. After that, we'll get into this wild idea of a divine reboot. We'll look at the actual blueprint of the soul. And then, most importantly, we'll figure out how you can unlock your own memory. Okay, so first, this dream. This is so much more than just Pharaoh's bad night. Think of it like the entire operating system of reality has a bug, a major glitch. A message from a much deeper, truer reality is trying to push its way to the surface. But it's coming through a corrupted signal, into a consciousness that is shrouded in darkness and confusion. The original Hebrew here is so precise, it's incredible. It says, Vatipa em rucho, his spirit was agitated. Now the Zohar does this amazing side-by-side comparison with King Nebuchadnezzar, who also had a world-changing dream. But with him, the text says his spirit was agitated twice. So what's the difference? Well, Nebuchadnezzar forgot everything, the images and the meaning. Total system crash. But Pharaoh? He had a partial signal. He could see the data packets, right? The cows, the grain, but he couldn't run the program. He couldn't figure out what it meant. The Zohar says it's like a spirit that's flickering, coming and going, but it can't quite land. It's an incomplete download. And this right here is the absolute core of the conflict. The dream isn't the real problem. It's just a symptom. The entire system of reality, from the highest spiritual dimensions all the way down to Pharaoh's court in Egypt, is stuck in a state of concealment. It's in a state of what the mystics call Shikha, a deep, deep forgetting. The divine signal is being throttled, the connection is lost, and this dream, it's the first critical error message blinking on the cosmic dashboard, warning everyone that something essential needs to be remembered. It needs to be restored. So this brings us right back to our central mystery. Why Joseph? Why the master interpreter, the master of memory? Was he the one left forgotten for exactly 2 full years? Now, on the surface, the Zohar says, yeah, it was a penalty. He put his trust in the cupbearer. He said, remember me and get me out. 2 phrases, so he got 2 years. But the real secret, the deeper truth, isn't about punishment at all. It was a necessary quarantine. It was a recalibration period required to flip the switch from one state of consciousness to its complete opposite. And to get this, you absolutely have to understand these 2 states. The first one is Shikha, forgetting. In Kabbalah, this is not about misplacing your keys. It is a metaphysical state of being. It's what they call mochen dekutnit, which basically means constricted consciousness. It's when the divine source code is hidden. It's that feeling of being separate, alone, in exile. It's when we operate from a place of fear, judgment, and limitation. It's like you're trying to run your whole life's operating system on a single bar of Wi-Fi. And the goal, the whole point of the journey, is to get to Zechira, remembrance. This is the state of mochen de gadlut, expanded consciousness. And again, this isn't about remembering facts for a test. It's about remembering who you truly are at your core. It's a restored, high-speed, fiber optic connection to the divine. It's clarity, it's integration, it's revelation. It's the ability to see the unity behind everything. It is the journey from exile back to redemption. I mean, just look at this, laid out side by side, it's perfect. On the left, you have forgetting. It's a constricted, hidden reality, a state of exile, and it's all rooted in this powerful spiritual force of judgment, or din. On the right, you have remembrance, an open, expanded state of revelation and redemption, rooted in this infinite force of mercy, or rahamim. The whole story, really the story of all our lives, is the journey from that left column to the right. And those 2 years, that's the bridge you have to cross to get there. Okay, so to really make this click, let's use a framework that we all speak fluently today. Let's think about reality as this massive, interconnected computer system. And right now, just before Pharaoh's dream, the whole thing has crashed. It's stuck in a loop of forgetting, and it is in desperate need of a full system reboot.
So let's just walk through the process. Step 1. The firewall. The whole system is running in Shikha mode. There's this massive firewall up, and the true divine data, clear perception, is being blocked. That's exile. Step 2. The trigger. Pharaoh's dream. That's the blue screen of death. It's a system-wide critical error message that says, warning, this state is unsustainable. Step 3. The technician. Now, you can't fix a corrupted system from inside the corrupted program, right? You gotta call in a specialist. Joseph, who is the living embodiment of Zechira, of integrated memory. He's our guy. He's been waiting outside the system, in the pit, and now he's called in to run diagnostics. And finally, step 4. Full access. Joseph does his thing. He interprets the dream. He taps into the divine source code, and he restores the whole system. The firewall comes down, and reality shifts from forgetting back into remembrance.
So that's the tech analogy, which is super helpful. But what is that source code really? What is this blueprint of the soul that Joseph is suddenly able to read? Well, for that, we have to look at the actual Kabbalistic map. According to Kabbalah, our consciousness is literally built on 3 energetic pillars. You have the left pillar. This is the energy of Gevurah or Din, judgment. It's all about contraction, setting boundaries, limitation, concealment. This is the source code of forgetting, of Shikha. Then you have the right pillar, which is Chesed or Rachamim, mercy. This is the total opposite, expansion, infinite love, revelation. This is the root of remembrance, of Zechira. And our whole job, our whole journey, and what Joseph mastered is to integrate these 2 opposites through the central pillar, the pillar of Tiferet and Emet, which mean beauty, harmony, and truth. Joseph is that central path.
Now, this is where it gets really wild. The Kabbalists didn't just think about these energies as abstract ideas. They associated them with colors. The left pillar, the pillar of severity and judgment, is symbolized by black and red. Think about it. The colors of fire, severity, raw power. That's the state of concealment. But the right and central pillars, the ones of mercy and harmony, are represented by white and green, the colors of peace, purity, growth, and integrated life. So the journey from forgetting to remembrance is literally a journey of consciousness from the red and black to the white and green.
And this brings us all the way back to the number 2. Why 2 years? Because 2 is the ultimate number of duality. It represents the 2 poles we've been talking about this whole time, forgetting and remembrance, concealment and revelation, judgment and mercy, exile and redemption. The 2 years aren't a duration of time. They are the symbol of the dualistic reality that Joseph, and by extension all of us, have to navigate, balance, and ultimately transcend to get to that integrated truth in the middle. And by the way, this isn't some one-off thing. This kind of spiritual coding is baked into the entire Torah. Numbers are never just numbers. 2 is duality. 7, which we see in the cows and the grain, always represents the natural cycles of creation. 12, for the sons of Jacob, represents a perfected whole system. And 40, which we see all the time, always means a period of purification, of maturation. Every number is a secret key to understanding a deeper layer of reality. Okay, so we've looked at the cosmic blueprint, we've talked about divine reboots. This is fascinating stuff. But let's bring it all home. What does this mean for us, right now in our own lives? How do we use this ancient code to unlock our own memory? Well, for anyone who's a gamer, think about your life like it's a huge open-world quest. That state of forgetting, of Shikha, that's the fog of war covering most of your map, hiding who you are and what you're capable of. And those moments of challenge, those weird dreams, those Pharaoh moments, they're not bugs in the game. They are divine side quests, specifically designed to give you the XP and the key you need to clear that fog and unlock the next level of your own story. Or if you think more like an engineer, picture your soul as a complex operating system. That state of forgetting is like your system is running in safe mode. You've only got access to the most basic functions, your processing speed is slow, and your perception is limited because you're running on corrupted, fragmented data. The whole process of Zechira, of remembrance, is a full system restore. It's connecting to a divine cloud backup, downloading your original pure source code, and integrating all those fragmented files of yourself back into a powerful, coherent whole. And this brings us back to Joseph, because he is the prototype. He's the example of the fully integrated self. When he walks out of that pit and stands before Pharaoh, it is not just a change of address. It is a fundamental quantum shift in his state of being. He has completed that 2-year transition. He has gone from the constricted consciousness of the pit to the expanded, godlike consciousness of someone who can read the blueprint of reality itself. So, really, this leaves all of us with a pretty big question to think about. We all have our own private dungeons of forgetting, right? Our own 2-year periods of waiting in the dark. And we all have a Pharaoh inside us. Some agitation, some dream trying to break through, some cosmic error message telling us it's time for change. So the real question isn't if you have one. The question is, what is it? What dream is waiting right now to reboot your reality?
And that's the whole takeaway right there. The crucial point is that those 2 years of being forgotten, it is not a punishment. It's not a flaw in the design. It's a feature. It is a necessary and sacred incubation period. It's the time needed to prepare the soul for a profound level of remembrance and integration that it just couldn't have handled before. You have to go down into the darkness to be able to handle the light. Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.